Right now we are on our way up to North Jersey because a few days ago we were looking at Craigslist and we came across this 16-foot scamp that we were kind of surprised because it has the layout that we both kind of decided that we thought would be the best layout for us, with the bathroom in the front and the side dinette setup. I think it's like layout number 2, they call it, in like all the SCAMP layouts. So I first learned about SCAMPs like maybe 8 years ago when I bought my original trailer, my 1977 Holiday Rambler, and I really wanted a SCAMP, but it was way out of my price range at that point. I just couldn't afford it. So I've always kind of kept it in the back of my head, and then we saw this SCAMP on Craigslist, and we know when there's a SCAMP for sale, it goes pretty quick. So that was what, Sunday? And today's Tuesday. So we're hoping that it's good and everything is all set. There's nothing that needs to be fixed. So, and hopefully we can settle on a pretty good price.
It's a 2012.
Yeah.
16 foot.
With a bathroom.
With a bathroom.
That's the most important part. We drove almost 3 hours north to be able to go and see the SCAMP in person, and it was so neat to finally actually be inside a SCAMP after looking at them for so many years and seeing them on YouTube. It was just really cool to see how cute the SCAMP is in person. We decided that we were going to really think it over because this was a pretty big purchase. So we went to dinner just to let rush hour die down before we drove back home. And as we were sitting and waiting for our food, I took out a piece of paper and we wrote a pro and con list to really hash things out and think about the plus side of us finally getting a travel trailer instead of tent camping, and some of the drawbacks, especially the fact that right now our work schedules are so opposite. We don't have a lot of days to travel together, but we also don't know the next time that a SCAMP like this is going to come up for sale, so it was important that we figure it out. This time last week we were on our way up to Asbury to see the SCAMP after we found it on Craigslist on Sunday night. So now, a week later, we ended up deciding that we definitely wanted it, and we gave an offer on it, and the offer was accepted. So now, the following Tuesday, we are on our way back up to pick up the SCAMP. So we are super excited. And we have our cashier's checks with us, and we're just heading up right now to end up doing the bill of sale and switching the title over. And then when we are heading back down home, we're going to be pulling a SCAMP behind us. On Monday, yesterday, Patrick had to take the Jeep to get a, what is it called?
7-plug connector, 7-pin connector for the brake controller.
Okay.
And the lights to control brakes and lights. Electric brakes to the trailer.
So that the Jeep and the SCAMP can communicate well, so that the brake lights and the brakes
to the trailer are activated when you hit the brakes to the Jeep.
Yeah. Which is, well, the lights are a legal thing, but the brakes make it much safer. And apparently we found out some states require you to have trailer brakes.
No matter what.
Even if it's a really light trailer like the SCAMP, sometimes you're required. And I think it's probably just easier to trailer if you have brakes, or safer anyway. I don't know. But we got that all situated. That was like $300 to have a car accessory place put that in for us, because there's no way that we could do that. We're just not that handy. We We stopped at Pilot on the way up to fill up our tank, and I think this is kind of a staple spot for travelers. We grabbed something for dinner because neither of us had eaten yet, and took one more look at the Jeep before it got to meet its new friend, the Scamp. Oh my god. Clunk.
Yeah.
Is it attached?
It's still there, right?
Yeah, it's following us. I guess that's a good sign. It's back there. We're going up our first hill.
Yeah.
Oh, man. They were awesome. They are super, super nice people.
Couldn't ask for better people to buy it from.
Yeah. I'm so glad they trust us with their scam.
Yeah. Can I go down here?
Yeah. Finally having the keys to our Scamp was a strange but awesome feeling. I kept looking back into the mirror and seeing the Scamp trailer behind us and just thinking about how long I had thought about the day that I would be able to have a Scamp trailer. Now I just had to get used to the process of trailering something and all the strange clunks that you hear. On our way home, we stopped at a Parkway rest stop to grab something to eat and to get out and kind of admire the Scamp with a very nice sunset in the background. It's kind of an unreal process that just about a week ago we had seen this listing on Craigslist and decided to go look at it, and now we were trailering our Scamp trailer home. This is trickier than it looks. There we go.
I have to get used to it.
Yeah, that was a little tricky.
Well, then an 18-wheeler goes a lot slower.
Yeah.
But this one's so short that it goes quick.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not used to it. It's like you have to get a little used to it.
Yeah.
I have to remember again how to finesse it.
Trailer skills.
Yeah.
Oh, you can practice tomorrow.
Yeah, but it's all set up. You see how if you don't have the right setup, you're screwed.
Yeah. All right, the dog's going crazy. By the time we got home with the Scamp, it was really late, and we both had to work the next day, well, the next several days. So we parked the Scamp over in the storage lot. Where we live, there's a big storage lot, and that's where everybody keeps their RVs and their boats. So it sat there for several days before we could even go back and do anything to it. But on Saturday, I decided to see how Redford reacted to the Scamp. At first, he was pretty unsure of the whole situation. So I had to grab the piece of cheese that I brought with me to try to bribe him to go inside. I think he was afraid of the stairs or the door. He just wasn't really sure of what he was walking into. So it took me several minutes to coax him to go into the Scamp. Now, Redford's favorite snack is cheese, so he'll pretty much do anything to get cheese. The fact that he didn't want to go into the Scamp even though I was holding cheese means he was really pretty scared. But after a few minutes of this, he finally decided to go inside and check it out. Where'd you go, Red? Hey. Nope, stay in there. Come on. This is what the camper looks like after we moved it back on Tuesday. It's kind of a mess right now. Stuff shifted all over the place, but Red finally decided to come in. He was a little freaked out. I think it was the door. When I first opened the door. Hi, Red. You're being good. It took coaxing with some cheese to get him to decide he wanted to come in, but I think once he figures out that he can go up onto the bed, he will be quite content. Alright, so now to clean up a little bit and start to find places for things. 2 weeks from today, we leave for our trip, and we're still not 100% sure where we are going to be going. That's part of my job for today. Work on the camper and figure out our plan for our trip in 2 weeks. But we're super excited that we're going to get to have a bathroom and a shower. It's really funny because everybody keeps saying, oh, well, you guys live in a tiny house, it must be the same thing, right? Like, we already know how to manage all the stuff of an RV. But it's actually pretty different, especially because we've never moved our tiny house. It got delivered by the builder. It's been in the same place for 3.5 years. We've never actually hitched it up and moved it ourselves. So this whole like moving structure is brand new to us. Even when I had my old camper, my 1977 Holiday Rambler, I had it delivered and then I had somebody else move it. So I've never actually moved the structure myself. So that's a whole new thing, like the hitch and everything. But some of the RV systems, I feel I'm definitely rusty on, like how to winterize and how to work the hot water heater and fill the tanks and empty the tanks and all that stuff. But that's what YouTube is for. That's how we figure out all the new stuff. If we don't know what to do, we go on YouTube or we go on to SCAMP forums. So one way or the other, we will figure it out. This is the packet of stuff that Ken and Dee gave us, with all the paperwork from the SCAMP and the title and everything in here. And then this is a box of stuff that they sent us. So on Tuesday, when we went to go pick up the SCAMP, they couldn't find the crank that opened the emergency hatch, and they had this other extra light that they put right up in the center because it's kind of dark in here. That's the one downside about the SCAMP. But when they actually found the window cranks, they sent them to us. So super nice. Now I think we have all the parts. And one of the things that we're really looking forward to with the SCAMP compared to the camper that I had last time, the 77 Holiday Rambler Free Spirit, nobody has them, nobody has parts for them. With SCAMP, everything is done through the SCAMP website, so if we lose anything, we can always go and order the exact part that we need, and we know it'll fit. I spent some time putting things away and cleaning up because when we brought the trailer home, everything kind of shifted around. And at this point, Redford had figured out that there was a bed, so this was his new favorite thing. There we go. We have light. Oh, I guess that's why we lose it sometimes. I've got all of the cushions, the extra cushions, the insulated window covers, and the Gore-Tex blinds that were custom made by the previous owner, which are really neat, and everything is color coded, of course, so or color coordinated, which is really neat. There's a red theme. Everything is under here in the little storage area underneath the bed, and then I'm going to throw on the cushion that they also gave us, just because between now and the time that we're actually going to use this for the trip, we don't have a ton of extra time to like run around and get things together, so I figured we would use this, see how it goes, and then we can always get something else down the line if we need maybe like a thicker mattress topper, because everything that we've seen in the videos is that people say this is a little too firm, and I can definitely see that. I really don't anticipate us using this as a table very often because we have the side dinette, which is why we wanted this exact layout. We felt like this layout would be the absolute best for us. So I'm going to go ahead and throw the mattress topper on, and Redford will help me test it out and see if it meets his liking. So I think that's the end of Redford being afraid of the scamp, because he figured out that there's a bed in here and now he likes it. Yes, I know. I knew you want to play. I knew you like it. Hey, hey. So now that we have cleaned up a bit, I feel like we can give you a proper inside tour. Come on, Red. Let's go. Of what it is supposed to look like. Got the curtains back up, the pillows in place. Close the screen door. Okay, and the bed, well, Redford messed it up a little bit, but the bed is sort of made. I put down the little table. So sink, the burner for the stove is under there. I actually like this little top. We'll see when we actually start using it if I still like it, but for right now I like the idea of being able to cover the stove and then you can flip that upside down and put it onto the bed like a little extra counter. But the previous owners put in this table, which is such a great idea, so you have extra prep space when you're cooking, because there's really like zero countertop space for cooking. But I got the curtains up. I think I'm going to run out and get some sheets and things that we can put on here before our first camping trip. Pillows. Oh, there we go. See, once Red figured out there was a bed in here, he's good. He's a happy dog now. Right, Red? Better than a tent? Yeah, I think so. We got little throw pillows, a table mat, and a throw pillow. I'm not sure if we're going to keep the original cushions on there or if we're going to switch them out for the other ones that we have. We'll see. I also need to run out and just get some silverware. I'll just go out to Goodwill, grab some silverware to keep in here so I don't have to take stuff out of the house. And then Ken and Dee were really nice and gave us the matching dishes that go with the pillowcases and the blankets and everything, so really cool. That's the nice thing about getting a camper that was used. It has all these nice little touches from the previous owners. So now we have about a week to get ready for Labor Day. Labor Day is our next time that Pat and I both have a single day off together, so that's going to hopefully be our shakedown trip if we can make sure everything is good and working well with the wheels and the suspension. Okay. What are you doing, Red? You gonna be a camping doggy? Yeah. Once I'd gotten Redford acclimated to the Scamp and kind of organized things and gotten things situated, I had my list of things that I needed to get for the next trip that we were going to do in a couple weeks on Labor Day, and that was all about getting ready for our trip a couple weeks after that, when we were going to be doing our road trip through Maryland, Virginia, West Virginia, and Pennsylvania. So it was really unexpected that we got the Scamp. Originally, that trip was going to be just taking the Jeep and bringing a tent. So we had to do a little bit of rearranging and switch our reservations from tent sites to RV sites, but definitely worth the extra work to switch everything around and make this a Scamp trip instead.